Clue, welcome back to Combos Court, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Definitely.
Power 105, platinum recording artist.
Yeah, hooper, avid hooper. Don't forget that.
You know, I feel like the reason they don't play defense in the NBA anymore is because they don't want to end up on Cool SPN.
Yeah, that's true. I got to give a big shout to my guy Melo, man. He retired this week, so got to give a big shout to him, man. I actually walked Melo into the Garden for draft, man. So
yeah, we have to. I mean,
it's been a journey.
19 years pro, 10-time All-Star, top 10 in scoring. How would you define his career, and what do you think about his game, just like thinking about it in general? Like, what comes to mind when you think of Melo's game?
Melo had a unique game, man. Like his catch and shoot ability was crazy. He had a good IQ for the game. I just feel like he was on a couple teams that, you know, he couldn't get to that ring, man. So like those teams.
But why does it always come to that? I feel like that's where the conversation always goes, you know?
Because it's like without that, like, you know, it's the perfect example is you see Shaq, you see Kenny, and you see Charles. Charles was a great player, great stat line, great career, no ring. So he don't get the same respect.
Bus driver, though. He took his team to the finals. Kenny was just a piece. I mean, we all know who the greater player is there between Kenny and...
Kenny scored, man. Don't do that, man. He was a scorer.
But you can't compare it to Chuck.
Nah, you can't. But, I mean, he did his thing. He held his own, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean...
He had some clutch buckets in that final, so...
Yeah, when I think about Melo, he's probably one of the best, like, ISO scorer, jab step scorer type players. Like, he's just tough to guard.
Mean, look at someone like Iverson, man. Iverson had a great career, a known killer, and no ring. So it's like he don't get.
But
he don't get put in those conversations, bro, because of that.
But I feel like the conversation never goes to Allen Iverson didn't win rings, and then when people talk about Melo, it's like Melo never got the ring. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, man. I've seen Iverson through his career. I've seen him in the club stumbling out at you know what I'm saying, at 4 a.m. and then having a noon game and still having 45. He was a different kind of killer than everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like when you have that killer instinct and that talent, man, it's like there's nothing that can stop that.
Some guys could do that. They could go out all night and drop 40, and some guys can't.
Some guys really can't, for real.
Jordan used to be outside. Like, he was gambling all night during the Olympics, and then he could just go out and
gambling and being pissy drunk is two different things.
Yeah, Jordan was probably outside, too.
Yeah, quietly outside.
What do you think about your Knicks, man? What do you think about the season?
I think they had a shocking season because I feel like no one expected them to make any noise like that. They got Jalen Brunson, and that was a good pickup for them. I just think that, you know, R.J. Barrett, I think he was a cool piece for them, but I just think he wasn't a good fit because I feel like when R.J. Barrett gets the ball in his hands, he's tunnel vision for the most part. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's a good thing and a bad thing because sometimes he would score and a lot of times he wouldn't score. And he get into cold spurts. So it's like it messed up the whole chemistry of the team.
The playoffs look better for him, right?
It looked a little better for him.
Yeah.
Definitely a little better. I just feel like the Knicks around Brunson need to have like a quote-unquote a shooter who could help them spread the floor a little more.
Shooting in general, right? They need.
They didn't have a deadly three-point shooter. If they would have had the discount double check, I mean, you know, like nailing threes, I mean, who knows? They might be in the finals right now or going to the finals right now. You never know.
What do they need to do to become contenders, in your opinion?
They need to have a strong bench who really could put numbers on the board, who are really a threat. I think they need to move Randall, Barrett.
Really?
Yeah. I think they need to move Randall and Barrett, man. Like, I just don't think, you know, like, it's always team turmoil mentally when it's like, all right, now you have Brunson and, you know, it's like you're not the star no more of the show.
Yeah.
So that affects you because you can see by some of the shots he took. He took a lot of ill-advised shots throughout the season. He had some great games. Don't get me wrong. He had some great games. I think he's a good player, but I just don't think he fits in the puzzle with Brunson.
Here's what nobody's talking about with Brunson, because obviously everybody's praising him and he had a great season, but can you win a championship with Brunson as your best player?
I think he needs someone his caliber or better to complement him. You know what I mean? Like you have, the Celtics, they have Tatum, and then right under him,
Brown.
you got Brown. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a good combo. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But I do think, with that being said, it's like I just, and we're talking about the Celtics too. Like they just don't have that killer drive every game.
100%.
Every game, like, you know what I mean? Like Tatum has his moments where he goes crazy and he drops 50, and then he has moments where in the fourth quarter he's Homer Simpson in the bushes. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard to tell which player is going to show up for the game.
I put it this way: he's greatly talented, but I don't think he's great yet.
I think he has a ways to go. He has a lot of learning to do. I think he has a lot of, and I always say this, like with basketball, it's a mental focus to be dialed in. Like, you know what I mean? Like to be dialed in every night is a different kind of elite athlete skill. Like to be mentally prepared, like how LeBron will be in the game. Like if he's not shooting good, he's still doing 4 other things on the floor that's incredible.
Yeah.
So he could only have 8 points, but he'll have 14 assists, 3 rebounds, a block, steals. He's just making everybody better on the floor. So like it's a different type of elite mentality and IQ to be able to do that. Tatum sometimes when he has bad nights, he's just out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's just out of it. And it's like it shows body language. Like you seen body language on the bench sometimes, like in the playoffs. And like when he was getting blown out, he's just like he's fed up.
Yeah.
So either he needs to, have other players around him who are as good as him that could, pick up where he lacks at in the game, or they might have to break that whole tandem up.
Yeah, speaking about breaking them up, Brown might become available. Do you feel like he's a good guy next to Brunson where you can win it all? I mean, people are talking Joel Embiid. People are talking Dame Lillard. Who do you like for the Knicks, man? Talk to me.
I like Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is a perfect.
With Brunson, though, that's a small backcourt.
I mean, look, we're in a way quicker game right now, man. It's a lot of these teams, like there's a couple teams that have bigs, pulls, like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like everyone's running with smaller lineups now, man. Like running gun.
Yeah.
That's what it's become. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
shooting. Yeah. The defense is where you get into issues with the small guys.
Even the centers that are out here right now, a lot of them, the good ones, aren't just true centers. You see Embiid is shooting 3-pointers. You see Jokic is shooting 3-pointers, like
point center
consecutively.
Yeah.
Passing. It's the game is evolved. It's just different now. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone feels like they need to have. Before, centers didn't work on 3-pointers. Yeah. Now every center is trying to shoot 3-pointers and do it in a good way and be productive.
Yeah, it's interesting. Melo retired. They're saying LeBron's talking about retirement, but they kind of took that out of context. Steph doesn't make the finals. KD doesn't make the finals. Are we really in a new era now, in your opinion? Or you think some of those guys will get back into it when we're talking finals?
A lot of these teams that have these good players on them, man, like a big thing is health. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can have a great team and have a great run, and all of a sudden, you're in the second round of the playoff. One of your key players get hurt or something like that. It's like it's all downhill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, perfect example. Like, everyone was talking about the Bucks was gonna come out of the East, and as soon as Giannis gets hurt, you see what happens, man.
Yeah, that was surprising because everybody thought the Bucks and the Celtics were the best team.
Yes,
and now we are here. And now the Heat, they were underdogs. Everybody thought they were underdogs, but they're playing like the overdogs. It's crazy.
But here's the crazy plot twist. Everyone thought that the Celtics was the team.
Yeah.
Right? The Heat is beating down on the Celtics.
Even though they lost last night, but you're correct.
The Knicks gave the Heat all they can handle.
Yeah. Two games from Eastern Conference Finals, yeah.
So what is that saying about the Knicks? Like, you know what I mean? They killed the Celtics during the regular season. The Heat is beating up on the Celtics. So, God forbid, you know what I mean, like the Knicks would have been playing the Celtics, we might be getting a ring in New York City, baby.
Yeah, but on one hand, you're saying you got to make some changes, and then on the other hand, you're saying you love what you're seeing.
I didn't say I love what I'm seeing. I'm
True. I don't want to speak for you. That is true.
I'm just telling you what happened. That they gave the Heat problems.
That is true. A wise man said, "Never speak for somebody." You did
And
not
listen,
say that.
and listen. Here's another Snapple fact. If Brunson would have had a shooter when he was doubled down and they was trying to get that last game to keep it going, and he turned and he looked at Hart and he didn't pass him the ball.
That's his man from Villanova, though.
He didn't pass him passed on for the shot. Even though 2 games before he made a bunch of clutch threes. I have a serious problem with, and you know when you and I hope we talk about this. You gotta trust your teammates, man. Basketball is basketball. You getting double teamed, someone's open for a shot, give him the ball and live with it. Live with it. Like if he misses, he misses. It's better than what happened.
Oh, 100%. Shots on goal is important, right? Like, you'd rather just get a shot. I was telling you that the other day. Like, shoot the ball because it's better than getting a turnover at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of times if you get more shots up, you're going to win. If you make more threes, you're definitely going to win.
He forced the ball into the lane. You know, your man Randall, I don't know what plane he was on. He had Hart wide open, man. Passing the ball for the 3, man. You gotta live with it. It's better than what happened.
So you said Randall's one of the guys you wouldn't mind seeing move on?
I just don't. You can tell by the way he was acting, like he feels like he's supposed to be the guy, and there's nothing wrong with feeling like that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I feel like that. You know,
there's nothing wrong with feeling like you should be the guy. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, Brunson showed up every game down there.
The problem is, though, no matter where he goes, if he is the guy, they're probably not going to be a championship level team. So the grass is not always greener.
Well, see what you're saying now? You just said a whole bunch right there with your comment.
What'd I say?
You said if he goes to another team, they're probably not going to be a championship level team.
Well, not him as the best player, but Brunson. If Brunson's your best player, I think you have a chance if you add somebody. The problem is like I feel like Randall's trade value isn't very high right now because he played well in the regular season.
He's
All NBA.
All-Star.
All NBA.
Yeah, an All-Star.
Yeah. So you think a lot of teams would give up a lot for him?
I didn't say that. You put words in my mouth again.
I asked you.
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you what happened. You know?
Yeah. Do you think the Blazers should, you know, there's a lot of talk like trade the draft picks or build around Dame. Just like looking at that situation, and Dame has been loyal to them for so long, do you feel like it's time for him to move on? And do you feel the organization should build around Dame or just start to rebuild at this point and trade him?
I mean, if I was them, I probably would trade him. I would trade him. Not saying that he's not a good player or he's not, you know, able to be
great player. Yeah.
Built around. I mean, I just think they should let him go somewhere else and be put in a situation where he's right now able to go out and get a championship. I don't think, you know, trading around to try to get. I don't think that's gonna work. To be honest with you, like who are you gonna get
for Dame? You're talking about trading picks and stuff,
right? Who they gonna?
Pascal, maybe.
Is that gonna bring you a championship?
Probably not. Probably not.
It'll have to be something of significant value that you're gonna get.
It's not
and who's actually out there?
Portland's not like a destination where people want to go, right?
Not at all.
People like Miami, Houston, New York,
right,
LA.
And we're talking about basketball. There's not a lot of real estate out there that's expendable. Who's people just gonna like, you know, who you gonna give up? Who you gonna go get? Who? Luka? They're not giving Luka up.
Hell no.
The Suns ain't giving KD up. Who you gonna go get?
Yeah, I don't know. AD. Oh, AD.
You think the Lakers are gonna give up AD for draft picks?
There's talk about it.
I don't know, bro.
And well, if LeBron decides, I think LeBron, like everybody's talking about this retirement talk, but I think at some point he'll take a gap year. But I don't think he'll leave.
You think he'll take a gap year?
Yeah.
Nah.
You don't think so?
No. Absolutely not.
Why not?
If he's gonna take a gap year, he might as well retire.
You know, low key, like he looks up to Jordan, right? And Jordan did that. Like he took 2 gap years, or he did that twice.
If he was gonna do that, he should have did that a long time ago. Right now is not the time to take a gap year. He's already 38 years old. He's 19.
To regenerate the body.
Oh man.
Runs with Clue at Chelsea. Get him on the bench press workout.
Nah. That's not gonna work, man. That's not gonna work.
I feel like what you love about basketball most, actually, you could correct me if I'm wrong, shooting the basketball. I think like that's what you talk about with me the most.
No, I think that shooting the basketball is something that you need to do to keep, in tune.
Fair.
I think I'm more of a I like high IQ basketball.
Okay.
You know what
Fair.
I mean? I
Fair.
like that. I like the being able to do things on all levels, being able to shoot, being able to elite passing,
Basically, those are the two things the Knicks lacked this year.
boxing out,
Yeah.
rebounding. Like those type of plays matter. Like more than scoring.
Top 5 shooters of all time.
Top 5 shooters of all time. Of course, the Chef Curry is one of them. In no specific order, right?
Exactly.
Top 5 shooters of all time. I got what. Part of being a great shooter, you got to go with clutch situations. Hence why I put Ray Allen in there, man. One of the
So you got 2 of my 5 already.
right. Reggie Miller, got to put him in there.
Got 3 of my 5 already.
My last 2 is probably gonna be. Look, I would want to put Klay Thompson in there. I would want to put him in there, but I don't think. I think he has a little ways to go when we talk about tough clutch shooters of all time. Who else would I say if we were gonna go top shooters? I gotta put KD in there, man, because
Okay.
KD he's efficient, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you leave him open and pause and you're looking at him in the corner, you're like, it's like, you flip the light switch in the hood and roaches crawl out. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
So that's 4, right?
That's 4 right there.
Yeah.
And my 5th, I'm probably gonna have to say, of all time, All right, you go. Come back to me. I'll think about my last one.
I got your 3, Clay and Larry Bird. The first 3 you said, Clay and Larry Bird. So you had Reggie, you had Ray Allen and Steph. And then I got Larry and Clay. That's my top 5. But I'm not mad at KD. I mean, I feel like KD's obviously a better basketball player than Clay, but Clay's shooting, like, when he gets hot, he's different. Like, he's one of the most flammable shooters ever. Like, his heat is different.
Yeah, but you saying that, and I kind of agree in a way, but I kind of feel like he doesn't do it all the time.
Well, now you're more so right now. I agree.
I feel like KD is consistent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you always know what you're gonna get. You're never gonna get a game where he's missing. Oh, oh my God, KD, 1 for 12. Like, you don't see those games. You've never seen those games. Like, mid-range, and on top of that, Klay don't take a lot of mid-range shots. He does take some. KD mixes it up, which is a great thing. Like, you know what I mean? He'll be at the three-point line. He'll pump fake, one dribble step in, boom.
Yeah. He likes the mid-range.
Yeah, I mean, crawling up my list slowly but surely, really efficient, Devin Booker.
Yeah, he could shoot.
If you see what he did in these playoffs, man, it's like unheard of.
Speaking of him, who do you like better as a player, him or Jamal Murray?
I got to see some more of Jamal Murray. I think he's playing really good right now, especially coming back from an injury. But Devin Booker is just like, he's like a generational talent. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You think so?
on the offensive side of the ball. Pause.
Yeah. Generational. So you would say Devin Booker's a superstar?
Oh, definitely, without question.
Yeah. What do you think about that word? Like, how many legit superstars?
Superstar is like me telling you, oh, we're gonna trade him, and then you saying, oh no, you're crazy. You done lost your mind. They're never gonna trade him. I think Devin Booker will be a Phoenix Sun for his whole career. He's one of those type players. Same way I think Luka will be in Dallas for his whole career.
But the great players are moving around crazy. Like, look at KD, look at Harden, look at Westbrook.
I'm just saying, the way it's set up is like, he's one of those players you're always just going to build around. You know, one big thing about players nowadays, man, about these superstar players, one quality that you can never overlook is you know he's a kid that's never gonna get in trouble.
Wow.
Devin Booker's you're never gonna hear about Devin Booker, you know. And I don't want to start talking about incidents, but you're never gonna hear of him doing any kind of nonsense that a lot of these players out there have done. You know what I mean? He's just not. He's a good guy.
What advice would you give to Ja?
He just gotta make better decisions, man. He gotta make better decisions. Like, I mean, he's young. We've all been there. You know what I mean? We've all been young and made, you know, probably bad decisions. But now, with all these cameras around and camera phones and internet and Instagram, and like, you got to be more careful with your decisions because you got to know you're being watched at all times. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, on social media. Once you hit that button, there's no taking it back.
Yeah, you can't do it to yourself.
That's it. He actually didn't do it to himself. Really.
Oh, this time, no, you're right.
This time it was his man's phone.
And he tried to put it down, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was too late, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, like, once you make that decision, what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose? The ops are nowhere around you. All right? You're riding in the car, highway, wherever you're at, on the street. Like, what's the point of vibing out and flashing a firearm? I don't see that.
Do you feel from your perspective, because obviously you're in the music business, that it's just trying to imitate rappers, hip-hop artists?
That definitely, I mean, the music definitely has something to do with it. It definitely has something to do with it. But there's a time and a place for that, man. Like, you know what I mean? You can do that with the cameras off. Like, why? Yeah. Like, what's the purpose of you driving in the car on Instagram Live and, you know, having your gun in your hand? Like, who you taunting?
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? You taunting the other NBA players? Like, who are you taunting, bro? Like, I'm not trying to be like. I mean, I wish the best for the kid. Like, you know what I mean? I hope he gets through this. I hope he learns from his mistakes.
100%.
And you know, and realize.
I hope he doesn't fumble the bag. Like, he got a lot of endorsements on the table, big contract coming up.
You got to realize the opportunity you have in front of you. Like, how many kids out there would love to have that opportunity, you know?
Totally agree. Yo, you're from Queens. What borough produced the best basketball players?
Why you gonna ask me? Of course I'm gonna say Queens, bro.
But is it true?
It don't matter if it's true or not, man. I'm always ride with the, you know, with the team, man.
A lot of great players from Queens. Who's the most like underrated guy from Queens? You think? Like, because obviously you had Lamar Odom, Rod Artest, a whole bunch of guys, man. Like,
I think Skip was real talented.
Skip was talented.
You know what I mean?
And like, people think about the handle, but I think he went through a season with the Heat where there wasn't a game that went by that he didn't make a three.
Right.
Like, he could really shoot it too. He played point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skip was tough, man.
Yeah.
Ray for Austin.
I played against him in high school, man. So,
yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
He was killing. He was killing that game. Francis Lewis was at Cardozo. Like, he was killing that. I obviously heard about him, knew about him, seen him play a couple times, but, you know, being on the floor playing against him, you could see, like, the vision was elite from back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you feel like the most underrated player ever is?
The most underrated player ever?
I know Rod Strickland's probably on the list.
There's so many of these guys who, like.
Oh, you're talking about who never made the league or in the league that you're thinking right now?
I mean, I'm thinking about in my head that made the league that was just doing a whole bunch of.
Oh, like nonsense that stopped them?
No, not doing nonsense, but, you know, people get hurt or they get, you know, put out the league.
Sam
you know
Bowie?
what I'm saying? Yeah.
All kinds of guys.
Yeah.
All right, last thing before we get out of here, man. I had to ask you one question about you. What was your thought process, right, when you were making mixtapes in your house? Because it wasn't like social media. Everybody, you could learn from this guy or see this guy doing it. Obviously, if there's people in your neighborhood doing it, but
right.
I feel like you were a pioneer. So what made you say, like, I'm going to just be in my house and make mixtapes?
Well, it was more like, you know, like, you have to be able to – great talents can always visualize, whether it's basketball, football, like, you can always visualize and anticipate what's going to happen. I feel like you have to be able to use that in all realms of whatever you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? With football, it's like you got to be able to anticipate the route. With basketball, you got to anticipate someone, you know, running for rebounds so you can box them out, or someone cutting to the basket so you can pass. Same thing with baseball as well. Like, you got to be able to anticipate, like, yo, I know this guy likes, you know, pull his fastball down the middle. I'm gonna throw him a fast curve or whatever it may be. Like, you know what I mean? So with me, it's like, you're out in the street, you're seeing cars drive by, mixed bumping mixtapes, like, so how you have to hype it up and have the right order, and just knowing from, like, I was a fan of it, so being able to buy mixtapes and hear what I liked and hear what was missing. Okay, so now I'm like, this mixtape is cool, but only has, like, has 2 or 3 joints on it. Like, what if someone made a mixtape with everything on it that was hot, or these amount of songs on it going this way? What if the sound quality was better? Like, all those type of things made me want to get in it and try to perfect it and make it so that it was marketable. You know
So
what I mean?
it was really about the craft. And did you ever see it getting to a level where it was going to be a commercial album at some point? Like, you were going to make a commercial album and it went platinum?
I didn't care about that because I was at the time I was making so much money. Like, I didn't care about, like, I wasn't even thinking about it until someone brought it to me. Like, yo, like, what do you think about this? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it came one of those things where, like, all right, cool. Like, let me see if I can make this album. It became the bucket list. Let me see if I get on the radio. Let me see if I get on TV. Let me see if I go platinum. So it became a whole bunch of those stuff. Now I'm making mixtapes. I want to start producing songs that's on these mixtapes.
So you didn't really have goals. You just worked on your craft on the day-to-day, right?
Yeah, just making it better and better quality, everything. All the stuff that I seen that was missing from currently what was going on, I try to do it on the best and highest level. You know what I mean?
So what's next? You said you're a visionary.
I'm doing. I do a lot of things, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the music or liquor or cannabis. You know what I'm saying? I'm just mixing all that stuff, man. Just trying to make, be a serial entrepreneur, I call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got the pizza shops all around New York City.
I ate there. Good stuff.
Made in New York pizza. We got a couple restaurants coming out. Me, my partner Aton and Ronnie. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So we just working on, branching out and, making money wherever we can make money at and be successful, man.
You got to make the shekels. Do you feel like you like the behind-the-scenes stuff better? Or, I mean, you're an on-air personality at Power, or the on-the-air stuff. I feel like, knowing you, I feel like you like the behind-the-scenes stuff better. Like, that's how Clue started, right? Like, it was kind of like a mystery.
Yeah, it was like, that was the whole thing behind the question mark. Like, no pictures, just a question mark. Because I feel like, once you start, putting your big-ass face on the screen, like, you're trying to do something else. Like, you're trying to make yourself popular. I just wanted to be about the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Clue, great stuff. You're always welcome back on the show. Thanks for taking the time. Talk soon, man.
No doubt. Appreciate you having me.
Later, bro.